All right. So, as you guys know, as you may know, this space I usually speak. It's called Meditation of the Heart, and I usually open it up by speaking a little bit on something on my heart, and then asking a question that's still in that context, sort of opening the floor, allowing for space for for everyone to answer, and then I answer the question last and go from my answer straight into the meditation guidance from there. And then after that, we have a short how was the session discussion, and then we go about our day. So thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. What is what is on my heart today is something that it's so simple, yet it's so very powerful, and has begun to change the shape of my life in a way. And not just recently, but largely, you could say it's changing rapidly. You know what I'm saying? It's been changing my life and helping shape my life since it clicked in my mind, which is the fact that when you really pay attention, and I hope when I say this, it resonates because it's true. When you really pay attention, nothing is happening. No matter what, words are being said, no matter what events are taking place, nothing really is happening. It is said that when there's it's the holiday season, right? So there's gonna be a lot of trees that are in the city that are wrapped up in a bunch of tiny lights, right? A bunch of tiny lights on a single wire, on a single string, and they wrap it all around the tree. And sometimes those lights are set to do different patterns, right? The individual bulbs turn off. My mustache is like tickling my nose. That's why I keep rubbing my face. So excuse me. It's just tickling the edge of my nose. Anyway, the some of the lights on these trees leading up to Christmas are flickering, on and off in different patterns or just different time for each light. And this is an analogy that we can sort of put to this thing that nothing is happening. When one light bulb goes out, nothing really happens to the whole. The whole still remains as it is. One light bulb goes out, the whole remains as it is. What does that mean? We may experience something, a failure. We may experience something unexpected happening that gets in the way of us achieving our goals. We may die. We may experience loss. We may experience something, a change of relationship, whatever it is. But when our seat of identity is rooted in the whole, then nothing is happening. Even as we are here exchanging and I was going to say exchanging energy, but spending time in this space. Yes, there are four bodies and minds sort of in this space together in this Zoom space, and We're going to do meditation. But as a whole, nothing is happening. And the fact that nothing is happening, right? Because if you stay here and now, then you kind of look left to right, nothing's happening. And so the fact that nothing is happening, it gives way once it's grasped properly by the mind. The fact that nothing is happening gives way to the fact that anything can happen, which is very good news. The fact that nothing is happening always leaves space for anything good to happen, right? Now, pair this with the other fact that life itself is what you make it. And this moment becomes a miracle. Your life itself becomes miraculous. The fact that you are here, that you were in deep sleep, and suddenly consciousness arose. This fact becomes a miracle. Just here in this moment, because nothing is really happening. Consciousness has arisen, and you can experience consciousness through the vehicle of your body, your mind, your emotions, sensations, all of that. Really, really, really try to let this sink in somewhere, because I'm telling you, it'll change your life. This subtle perspective shift from everything is happening to nothing is happening will broaden and expand your capacity for sort of pure awareness, pure witnessing, pure enjoyment, even in such a way it can't even be put in words. So my question, I sort of digress. My question this morning in regards to how we put some of this into a practical place is, even if just for today, how will you remind yourself that nothing is happening? Even if just for today, how will you remind yourself that nothing really is happening?
You know what I was just thinking? Like when you said nothing is happening, right? The way to take it, because for me, when in terms of like drama or things that may come up that may make you be in a tizzy that comes in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like looking at the sky right now and I'm seeing like the clouds move. So is that like something happening? Like, you know what I mean?
Right. And no, it's not. Nothing is happening. But yeah, I hear you. It's like the social things. Okay, I kind of get that the social things are not happening, but what about nature? Isn't nature
Right,
happening?
right.
It's like, no. First of all, everything social and man-made is also in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Human beings are the only animal that think we are somehow separate from nature because we can reason, and we can build things other animals cannot easily build. So
Okay,
this
so it's
is
hard for
still
me to
nature.
look at it.
Hmm.
It's a challenge for me to look at it and not include like that. Like I can do the social part, but the part of like, okay, I don't know. I guess I need a little more. time to think about it in that way because I'm like, I see
Yeah,
the cloud moving.
right. Right, we associate too much the names and forms of things with reality. There's no such
Okay,
thing as a cloud or a body for that matter. There is the
gotcha.
sensation of sight, and there is the interpretation of the mind that says this is a that, and that's all that is, when that's not true, right? That's still operating from the space of individual, separate from everything sort of consciousness, right? This sort of assumption that I am me because I have a body and I was born and I will die and I will have triumphs and I will suffer and I have my story. And when my story ends is when this body dies. And that's it. When I wasn't here before birth, I will not be here afterwards. But uh, but this is simply not the case. As I said before, right? As I said before, you were already aware when you were born. Somehow, you were already aware when you were born. The moment you were born, you were already aware. And that's, I mean, it's quite the thing to contemplate. I encourage, you contemplate this. And if it gets too hard to sort of go so far back in time, then just when you wake up in the morning, pay close attention. Coming out of the deep sleep state, somehow you were already aware. You saw the whole process of waking up, and you didn't have to be necessarily self-aware, meaning you didn't have to be aware of your awareness to be already aware, to already be here. And these contemplations help to deepen the understanding that nothing is happening. That, another way to put it, everything, there's no cause. There's no real cause and effect. It's simply um, that everything is its own cause, is its own cause. That the coming and going of various movements, right? The coming and going of various movements, whether they be outside the body or emotional movements or thought movements, or bodily movements or whatever. The coming and going of all of these movements, they're either caused by nothing or caused by absolutely everything, meaning the entire universe and beyond. Because how else would it work? Right? We understand ourselves to be largely operating from our conditioning. Well, our conditioning can be blamed on the entire universe, not just my parents, because if I just blame my parents and my schooling for my conditioning, well, what conditioned them? And then what conditioned all of those groups? And then what conditioned all of those groups? And so on and so on. And you get to the whole shebang, the whole entire universe. So there is no real cause and effect, as in like individual things. And if this didn't happen, then that wouldn't have happened. These notions, we don't really know what we're talking about, because we're looking from such a limited center, such a limited space that we consider to be ourselves, which is the limitations of the person. So just, I wouldn't say it's mere food for thought, but definitely contemplate it, see if it, as you go about, just have it sort of sink in, because this is factual. This is factual. That the name, we give a name and to these forms that we see, and we give a name to these movements, but then they are not what we call them. It simply is. It's not happening like through time. It simply is. Yeah. Good. 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 That's good.
I'll share. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, okay, even if just for today, how will I remind myself that nothing is happening? Um, one way that how I interpreted that question was nothing is happening is like that unshakable peace, that unmovable, what doesn't change, with all of the changing things and emotions, the thoughts fleeting in and out, different circumstances, different people, everything that engages with the senses the same, um, regardless. And for me today, and it's my intention every day to set my mind aside, even if for a minute, just to observe what is here now, um, what truly is here now. Whenever there's a disempowering thought or emotion, it it's like an alarm, like to come on back home, to come on back, and just something here is not quite being seen rightly. So for me, the reminder that nothing is happening comes with the remembrance that life happens within me, and it's not the other way around. And it's not me as the outline of this body and personality, but the true identity of all that is. And so when coming from that rooted space, there's like this spaciousness when I let it all go, when I let it all go. And and I need not really remember, because it's just what's here. It's just what I experience. That that peace, spaciousness, and the things that caused fear or anxiety or whatever else,
Mm-hmm.
they were just a thought. Right? Just
Only
relaxing into
right,
relaxing.
right. The only thing thoughts can influence are other thoughts. And again, the notion that I am my body is itself a thought, just for clarification on what I just added, not what you said. But yeah, what being just being very simple, just keeping everything very simple. What really is here? What do I really take to be myself? Have I investigated that? And am I able to sort of, I don't know, be aware of what is without giving too much importance to the names and forms that we label everything with, you know? So, so even if just for today, how will you remind yourself that nothing is happening. Looks like it's to be, so I'll go ahead and answer and then we'll go into the guidance from there. Today, I will remind myself that nothing is happening by remaining in the most natural flow that I can with the various movements that my mind will give names and forms to. Right? And I will just remain in the most natural flow. What does that mean? It doesn't mean I will be pushed and pulled everywhere like a, you know, like I'm being whipped around by life. But even in thought and emotion and the internal experience, as well as whatever is the appropriate actions to take on the outside of my body, I will remain in harmony with this miracle we call life. And that's how I'm going to remind myself that nothing is happening. Remaining in flow, remaining in harmony. And so at this moment, I'd like to invite that if you can, if you haven't already, just find some comfort within your own being, however you can, however you can do that. And I'll begin the meditation, the guidance for the meditation portion. And we're going to begin how we always do. At the count of 3, I'm going to invite that we take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth together. And when we breathe in, we're going to breathe in peace. This peace is not necessarily a peace that is coming from outside, being brought in with the breath. Simply a moment to breathe in and give recognition and acknowledgement to the peace that is always already there. The stillness and silence and the joy that is always here. And I like to say it's hiding behind our actions and thoughts. So we're going to breathe in peace. And when we breathe out, we're going to be breathing out the mouth. We're going to let it all go. We're going to breathe out the mind. And that simply means, because it's not the practical mind, it simply means all of the extra words and thoughts, conclusions, the sort of psychological mind, which we don't need for meditation. I'm going to breathe that out. And then we will begin. 1, 2, 3. In with peace. And out. Welcome to this moment, everyone. As you find comfort within your space, within your body, I invite you to spread your awareness beyond your self-image. Just spread your awareness beyond your self-image. Become aware of the space right outside of your skin. Expanding further, little by little with each exhale, broadening your center for perception. Being aware of the space you're in without the need to give attention to individual things. Notice that to do this, you don't need to expand your self-image. Instead, you can set self-image aside and simply be here and now with no particular reference for yourself. Just spread your awareness. Allowing it to ease its way all around, from the top of the head down to the bottoms of the feet, around the body, in front of the body, behind it, below it, and above it. And just little by little, inch by inch, expanding the awareness. No matter what movements happen within a room, whether they are reorganizing furniture, bringing in and introducing new appliances and tools into the room, or just a bunch of people coming in and out. Nothing happens to the space. The space is completely unaffected by the movements within the room. Your awareness, yourself, is like this space. No matter what thoughts creep in and take shape in front of the mental eyes, nothing happens to the space that is seeing these dreams. And if you need a reminder, simply inquire into, where am I seeing from? And remain at peace, expanding the awareness beyond the simple, limited body-mind. Even if feelings of distraction or distractedness come, know that they are just feelings produced by the mind, appearing in the awareness to disappear on their own. Do not invite nor resist any sensations. Allow yourself to be. Do not take yourself to be the thinker of thoughts. Nor the listener of words. For you are prior to listening, thinking, and sensing. Consciousness is the culmination of the seer, the seen, and the act of seeing. And you are beyond this play. But don't try to picture this in the mind's eye, for you are formless. Simply remain in the truth. Holding steady in the space you are seeing from, keeping the attention turned inward, not allowing yourself to identify with the thinker of thoughts. You are here prior to thoughts. They show up to you. You don't show up to them. The breath is coming in and going out in its own natural rhythm. The heartbeat determines its own speed in relation to what is needed. Life takes care of life. You need not control even the mind to be one and in total harmony with the truth. No matter what sensations or adjustments may appear in consciousness, notice the space remains untouched. Be one with the space. Without confusing yourself to be an active observer, for witnessing happens on its own, similar to the heartbeat. Witnessing simply is. You are even prior to witnessing. Remain in your space of peace without effort. Allowing the various movements in the internal and external space to take place as they are, without resistance or interest. Detach from your body. Detach from the mind. Detach even from the witness. Be. just a second, we will take our final deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth together. On the count of 3, so bring us back into our everyday mode. But the truth will be unaffected, unchanged. The truth of who you are will remain as vast, spacious, and still as it is now and always has been. So on the count of 3, we're going to go in with peace and out with the mind one last time. 1, 2, 3. In with peace. And out. Welcome to this moment, everyone. I invite you to bring some movement, if you have not, back into your body, your limbs, legs, ankles, upper body. And as always, I'd like to know how this session, how the meditation, and even the discussion was for you two. And if you're in a space that is, and it's not where you can't speak out loud, of course, you can use the chat, Cheryl.
Um, meditation, state of infinite peace. Um, it's always a blessing to come back to center and as usual, setting the mind aside is it's like that journey to true seeing. So I'm grateful and I'm happy that you're here, Cheryl.
Yeah, me too, man. Long time. She says in the chat, brilliant. I appreciate the discussion on shifting perspectives and the reminder of truth. Yeah. Wonderful. Is there anything, Tensi, that did not go the way it maybe should have gone, or something in the meditation or discussion portion that you feel? Um, I ask because I kind of, I don't know, I don't know. It feels maybe there's something more to share. Honored to be in the space. We're honored to have you. Honored to have you. Same to you
You know,
too. If anything else that you'd like to maybe look a little deeper into, you can throw that in the chat as well. Sorry, Tensi.
it always goes as it should. um,
Okay,
simply, just being present.
wonderful.
It's good.
Right. Well, again, big thanks, unlimited, unconditional gratitude. Um, and this is going to conclude today's meditation of the heart session. Thank you, Tensi, for putting the donation information in the chat. If you could, please, donation of any size always helps keep these services going, keep them free and open, as well as help. They help us. They help us a lot, and we need your help. So they are never required. What I'm saying, it's not a requirement for you or anybody to come back next Friday. But if you could leave a donation, they are appreciated. And other than that, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take
I'd
full
like,
advantage of it. And what'd you say?
I'd like to say something
Yeah.
regarding the donations. We have been able to donate over 848 meals, intentionally prepared, locally prepared, plant-based meals to kids through Food for Life, thanks to
Kids,
Cheryl
kids and families. Mhm.
in the Thrive Club and everyone that has donated across the different programs that we have. So very grateful. Thanks again for that. This also allows us to continue that mission of just giving more plant-based food access to kids and families in need around the world and in the US, specifically the US and at least 60 other countries. So um, super grateful, super grateful. And with that being said, these are every Friday. So if you feel called to come on back next Friday, we'd love to have you. And indeed, I think you're about to say before the donation announcement something along the wavelength of just overall gratitude, gratitude for your presence and for your commitment to yourself. So remembering that this is a journey of deepening that love, deepening that awareness of love within ourselves. And as you go about your day, carry this with you. Bless.
Bless. See you next time. Peace.